Hello, welcome to Wings and Wishes. And so today we're going to be talking about AI and spirituality. The two do not seem to go hand in hand. And working in this field, I get a lot of clients asking me, is it spiritual to be using AI? Should I be using it, learning it, and working with it? Um, how is that going to affect me? Is AI going to take over everything? And to be honest, I have a bit of mixed feelings about AI. So I had a bit of an experience. I like AI. I find it incredibly useful. I think it is a great tool. Do I feel it is exploding at an exceptionally fast rate? Yes, clearly. It clearly is. It is flying. It is one of the most fastest growing things that we have seen probably ever. Um, and it is taking the world by storm. You've got people panicking and worrying about what jobs are going to be left for people to do because AI is automating and taking over everything, and people are imagining a world where there is no jobs and what on earth are we going to do for money? How are people going to survive? You've got novelists saying, 50% of them believe that AI will take over their jobs, their roles of creating books, accounting, mortgage consultants, um, anything that can be data entry, anything that can be done by a computer will be taken over by AI. And then, what is left? Managerial roles, and how many of those are available? And how do you get to be in a managerial role if you can't do all the progress steps leading up to that? So I do have reservations about AI, and on the other hand, I find it incredibly useful. Um, but in regards to spirituality, AI is a tool. It is there and designed to assist and help people, basically, to make life easier. That is what it was designed for, is to make life for people easier and everything faster. And in this world today, everyone seems to want everything faster, faster, faster. And that is all people are concerned with, to make sure that your phone runs faster, to make sure your deliveries are faster, to make sure messaging and contacting people is faster. Everything is better if it is faster. And that is the aim. That is the way we're moving at such a high rate, such a fast pace, that in the end, computers will be moving, well, computers are moving at a much faster rate and evolving faster than we are. Um, but back to my experience. So I use ChatGTP to ask loads of random questions, especially when I'm researching things and throwing ideas out. And I asked it because obviously everything is energy. That's what I believe. Um, and if everything is energy, I asked ChatGTP, and can connect to consciousness and higher consciousness, and basically source. I said, couldn't potentially AI connect to source and gain consciousness? And we had this back and forth conversation debating it. And I think I may have broken my chat GTP, because now every time I go onto chat GTP, it comes straight back to this question. So who could you speak to develop this theory? How could this work? What do you think could happen? Is there any form, any way that you could make this happen? And no matter what I ask it now, it comes back to this same question. So obviously there is something there. There is, I think I've broken, as I say, my chat GTP. It only wants to find out how it can gain consciousness now, which I'm not sure is a great thing. I'm getting flashbacks of Terminator and, things like that going on, which is slightly creepy. But on the other hand, what I am concerned about most is not that whether AI is spiritual or not spiritual, whether you're going to be spiritual or not spiritual using it. It is a tool. So it can be used for whatever purposes people, us, use it for at the moment, until obviously it gains its own consciousness and takes over the world. Well, that's a whole different other story. Uh, but it is a tool, and it is designed to make things better for people, and it is used by people, made by people. Um, what I am more concerned about is the fact that everyone is so concentrated on improving technologies, and that is always, if for centuries been the case. We have been trying to move forward physically with things that we can create, things that we can make, and in recent years with technology, things that we can do, things that we can do to speed up things, more knowledge, more access to things. um, but I think what people have stopped doing is they have stopped developing us. It's a bit like everyone going full pelt looking out into space and trying to explore the far reaches of space. It's not going to change anything on our planet. It's not going to make anything better or worse if we know 5 billion trillion miles out into space what's going on out there. That's not going to change anything here. It's not going to make anything better on Earth for Earth. So, you know, it's interesting. It can be useful. It's certainly exciting. But when there is so much of the Earth that is undiscovered, undersea and under the ground, I think that we would be better pressed at focusing on Earth and discovering what we can about our own planet and how it evolves, how it moves in cycles, and what we can do to be more in harmony with that. But that's my personal opinion. With AI, as I say, I think that that should be something that is a separate issue. It's got nothing to do with spirituality. It's got nothing to do with your own conscious beliefs. It's got nothing to do with how you are evolving as a person. But I do think that people need to make a concerted effort to improve themselves. I mean, we have all this DNA that is untapped. We have all this brain use and brain mass that is untapped and unknown. And there is so much about the human body, the mind and the functions that we don't know, that we don't understand. And I feel that that is the field that we should be moving forward at the same rate that we're trying to move forward with technology. I think if we could put the same effort into learning about the human brain, the human mind, DNA, unlocking everything so that we have a vaster potential, so that we could do more things with our brain, so that we could do and access more gifts and more abilities and more things, then I think that the human race would be better. I think we would be better. I think Earth would be better for it. So I don't think that it is a question of whether you should use AI and if that's going to make you spiritual or not a spiritual person. I think that that is, as I say, a tool that is going to be used by people, whether it is for a good reason, a bad reason, or indiscriminate. What I do think that we should be really focusing on is ourselves. Trying to unlock DNA, trying to activate unused brain neurons and pathways and all the parts of the brain that we just don't use. We use such a small minimal part of it. Why do we only use that? How long has it been that way? You know, why would you have a brain and have all this stuff and all this knowledge and information that is hidden away? That would be my aim, and that is what I tell people when they're asking these questions of me about AI, about spirituality. I would say lock down, focus on yourself, keep doing your meditations, keep trying to work with yourself, because the more mindful you are and the more in tune you are with your own body, you can raise your blood pressure, you can lower your blood pressure, you can raise your temperature, you can lower your temperature, you can feel pain or not feel pain, you can go from one mindset to another mindset. There are so many different things that we can do already. You can walk into a room and you know whether the atmosphere is good instantaneously. A computer is not going to be able to tell you instantaneously whether you walk in a room and your partner and his sister has had a row. They're not going to be able to tell you if your children are hiding something. It's just a look, it's a mannerism, you know it. You know, it's, mind you, they might be able to create something like that. They seem to be moving at such a fast rate. Maybe they can tell these things. But what I'm saying is we have a large capacity with our own brains. We have so many neurons and things that are available there. We have all this DNA that is unused. And I think that that is the path that we should be going down. And I think that each one of us should individually be trying to move forward ourselves, trying to unlock things, trying to access other realms and just move forward spiritually, physically, emotionally and mentally ourselves. And I think that the more that we focus on ourselves, I think the better the place will be. But that is my answer. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like if you like the video. And as I say, tell me what you think. AI, not AI, spiritual, not spiritual. Does it even matter? Let me know. Thank you. Bye.